Howdy everybody, this is Mr. Dean. Let's get into talking about making a nice seaside area from a mountain. Alright, I mentioned this in the last episode and I thought, well, why not demonstrate it here? So I'm importing a height map here from Orizaba, Mexico in the Sierra Madre Mountains. They're very far from the seashore and they're very high up in the sky. The only water they get is when it rains or fogs or snows. So let's make this into a seaside area. Alright, first thing we got to do is pick a water level. So I'll use the terrain height tool, and if I right click here I see 158. Over here is 163. What's about this corner? Ooh, 33 in that corner, 49. That is a low area. What about over here? 174, 200. That may be too high. 200 may be too high, but 174 looks like it goes this nice channel. I'd like that. So that's the height I want to get. So I'm going to take my water height tool. Let's click on this one here, and let's bring that sea level up. Now if we hover over the map, we'll see where this water will go. Where it's really white, that's the surface of the water, and where it's kind of fuzzy is where it's going to splash. Now if I make the water level too high, you hardly see anything. You just see, oh, just this outline. That means this part is deep underwater. If I make the water level down here, you're going to see, that's the surface. That's what it's going to cover. Well, we wanted it around 170. Right there, 172. Now let's make it a little bit higher. Make it, type in 176 and hit enter. Okay, that's where I want it to go. If I didn't hit enter, it wouldn't take. But that's what I want. So let's go ahead and unpause. And let's hit reset water to sea level. Now we see this water coming in from the side here. It's going to eventually go over the whole map. So let's hit reset again. There we go. And we'll take it down. We still see some of that edge coming in there. That can't be avoided all that much. I can try hitting reset again. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. And one more reset. Okay, what do we got there? Now I just got multiple waves. Oh well. They'll come out in the wash. Haha, get it? Okay. Anyway. So we've now turned this mountainous area into a coastal area. And I really enjoy this. If you find maps of mountain valleys that are populated, chances are you will get a really nice area where they've got some smooth area for building, some beautiful mountains that are outside the build area. So you just leave them naturally beautiful, and then you've got a few high rises in the middle of the build area that add variety. Drop in the water level and there you are. Alright, what do I do with the coastline? Do I leave it spotty and islandy? Well, I could put a swamp in here, so yeah, I could do that. And I've got some pools over here. I could either flatten them out or dig in a little extra channel or leave them in that way. They're not hurting anyone. I don't seem to have any areas where there's a lot of washing up and down except around here. This is where the water level changes a lot. Now if I want it to flood out in a interesting way. Looks like we're still dealing with that little side wave there. You see it coming up here and then receding. But this area here is kind of questionable about whether or not it's safe to build on. Now, since I'm going to use just purchase it, it's outside the build area. So, make it a swamp and let the water come and go. I'm okay with that. If this was in a build area though, I would want a much more stable water area than what I have here. If it can flood all the way out here, that's 2 tiles width. I wouldn't want that in a build area. So I'd look around and smooth out that terrain. And right here we see some of that coming in here. Ooh. See that coming up? And washing and coming over and still coming up. What's the height area here? That's 190. That's 187. And we set the water level at 176? Okay, we just gotta let this thing bake. We had those waves earlier. Let's see if this is permanent or if it happens again. Alright. So let's take the game speed way up and watch it. And that's sometimes what you have to do. As you're making a map, either speed the game if you've got the play it mod, or if you don't have it, go step away, do something else for a while, shake your hand out, avoid carpal tunnel or repetitive stress or whatever it is, and let it bake. Let it bake. Like if you're eating bread, you don't just grab it out of the oven when it's a little bit brown on the outside. You want to make sure it's done on the inside. So you let it bake a little longer. Okay, we've been letting it go through a lot of cycles down here. You see it spinning there. And we look around, and I'm not really seeing a huge wave like we did before, but I do see some percolation in this area. A little bit over here. Oops. This area has solved itself. I could still make it a swamp later on. But this coastline, you see it going and coming. So we're going to want to fix that. Let me make the game speed back to normal. Alright, how do we fix this coastline? Well, there's two ways of doing it. Smoothing or building. Let's start with smoothing. I'll go with the smoothing tool here. Get a fair-sized brush. And what I'm going to do is, starting in the build area, just go over it nicely. Take out some of the irregularity in the coastline. That's what causes the splashing and toing and froing. So we'll just take a little bit of it out there. Make it gentler on the coast. You notice how I'm smoothing in the sea area itself, as well as the land area. So there we go. Nice, gentle coast. There we go. Gentle coastline. A lot of percolation over here. This may be an area where we want to put in a water source and let it trickle down. That'll help fill that out. Okay, but we're out of the build area now, so we're good on that. Let's take that down. And now we look at it, and now that we've given the area a little more slope, it'll play back and forth, but it's not as flood prone. In the build, we could put a key wall in, or maybe we'll do a little bit more with our build. Let's try raising the land. Okay, brush strength needs to go way down. Brush size, maybe a bit smaller. And let's get one of my gentler brushes here. Okay, maybe not that small. Let's get a little bit larger. Okay, go the other way, not the low one. All right, you see it kind of going up here. So let's put a headland in. Let's give it a little ridge to think about things. There we go. And we can connect it up with this. That makes sense, kind of geologically so. And notice I'm just making little clicks, dragging it out, and that looks and feels very natural. You know, I could actually make this a little lake in there. That'd be kind of cool. Ooh, we've got these islands forming. Let's make some more. Yeah, I know I smoothed it out earlier. Now I'm going to draw some more in. And I'll draw a little bit in there. There we go. Let's just draw up here, bring up a little more height, and then that'll force the water into a different path. There we go. Let's deal with that percolation there too. Again, you let it bake a little bit. We can always come back with the smoothing tool. Not to worry. And let's give that water somewhere else to go. I'm going to drag it down the land level here. Just a right click, And this is not using the slope tool. I'm looking at the contour lines as I do my clicking. and I can see how they deepen. And again, because my brush strength is low, I don't have to worry too much about gouging things. It's outside the build area, so they can actually go around and get a little island to form there. Wouldn't that be cool? Water's coming in more here. Let's dig it another channel. Let's really encourage that water to come over here. Again, just a right click, looking at the contour lines, kind of adding them up. Let's close that one up a little bit. Right click, deepening, deepening. There we go, around the horn there. Oh, that's super duper. Now we've got a place for that water to go. Look how it just runs down in there. Kind of like how it runs up in there. So let's deepen that out too. Make a channel. Make a channel. And we'll smooth it out later. Smooth it out later. Alright. A little bit more digging there. And a little more digging there. Okay. Now if we go to the water level and I hover over it, or go over the map rather, I can see where it wants to go. You see that area that's lit up now? If I hit reset, it's going to do that, resetting, but I want to let it flow. Again, let it bake. Let it bake. And now, I've got this bay and this inlet. Let's smooth it out now. And it's a gentle smoothing, so I can hold the mouse down and be fine with it. There we go. Let's put in that water source way up high here. How much water should I put in? Oh, well, let's hit pause. Let's make it a fair capacity, about half a unit there. If I put it here, ooh. Now if I put it here, that's going to flood out the whole area. Ooh, it's kind of flooding out the whole area as well. Maybe I don't want it that high. I'll right click and get rid of it. And let's try putting the water here. Okay, that's a better one. Yeah, I don't want the trickle on the side. Can I get it lower? No, I can't. Okay, well then let's just put the water here. And then we'll dig out a little bit extra here. Alright, right click, sorry, wrong one. Right click, there you go, right click. Encourage you, and follow the general path of the land. That'll help out. Alright, let's hit the game going, and we'll go ahead and give it some speed. Give it the beans. And now this water is going to flow down and help to complete this channel. That's the intention. It's not going up more here, it's all coming down this way. And can we get across? Yes, we can. And they're joined up and growing out a little bit more. That's fine. Alright, let's go back to normal speed. Good enough. And there we are. We've got a very stable coastline now. We've got a rough area here. This would be some nice homes by the beach up in the hills. I could put trees in here. There's a lot of potential for this beautiful little cove here. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to smooth that out. Got plenty of smooth, relatively smooth over here. I may want to put another river somewhere along here. That might be nice. Or through the main area, because you do want to have water in the starting area. Of course, I could always just say, hey, the starting area is here. Bosh, we're done. You got water? Yep, check that. So, we've got what we need. We've turned our mountains into a coastal area. We've got some wonderful little inlets. I could do a little more flood control over here, or leave it as a wetland. The choice is mine. What I thought was going to be a swamp up here, it drained out, but I could decorate that and just lower the terrain a little bit or cut little holes in there and let it be a wetland. Probably what I could do here would be hit pause and then do some terrain lowering, put in the trees that I want, and then unpause and let the water flow in and around. That creates the wetland, because you can't put trees on water, but you can have trees come into where the water is. And don't forget that if you do something like that and you don't want the trees to wipe out, you want to have no radioactive desert and more, or some other mod that will allow you to make sure you don't have dead trees at the shoreline. It will also turn off the shoreline ground color, so it'll be grass all the way up to the front. You won't get that shoreline effect. But I like to have my trees show up and stay green where the water is, and that's a good thing to have. Well, alright then. Now you can go and grab a mountain and turn it into a lovely seaside area. Just set the water level right and then start digging around to see what works. I hope you have a fun time. Like, comment, and subscribe. Happy city painting. I'm Mr. Dean. Yada, yada, yada. We'll see you again. Bye for now.